So today I'm going to be taking a look at Optic SHOTZZY's career over the last 6 years and kind of ranking every single year where I think he basically was as a player, his overall team accolades and stuff like that. So as you can see here, these are the games that he didn't compete in. So we're going to go through Modern Warfare 19. Then we're going to go over to Cold War. Then we have the Vanguard season. Then, of course, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. And then to finish it, it's going to be Black Ops 6. So let's go through. And we're going to start off with his debut year, Modern Warfare 19. Where do we put this in terms of SHOTZZY's career and his accolades? So starting off here with his actual stats and just everything that went on in that year. So that was obviously a weird year in terms of it was online for majority of the year. But here you go. You can see some of the placings. I mean, I'll be real. This one feels a little bit weird to me because I don't know what was the majors and stuff. It looks really weird in terms of like it just shows week 10, week 13, stuff like that. So I don't actually know how it worked. So yeah, in terms of stat wise for that year is a little bit weird, but he did win champs. I believe he was rookie of the season. There was something, he did something there where he was rookie of the season or player of the season or something, but he was really good at this year. This is like probably one of his maybe best years, and it was his debut year, and this is where he really just went on the scene and he took over, man. He took over. SHOTZZY this year was unbelievable. In terms of the teammates, it was 5v5, right? So it's Clayster, Crim6, then you had SHOTZZY, Illy, and Hook. So it was kind of a good balance of the two veterans and then the three, I would say, newbies, even though Hook is definitely not a newbie, but he was still younger and relatively more like, he kind of matched more with SHOTZZY and Illy than Clay and Crim in terms of like newbie style, if that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it was just like a fresh perspective here because we didn't know much about this guy, but we're like, wow, this guy's talented. He's come from Halo and he just really was a phenomenal player in terms of just movement and ability to finesse around the map. And this game, as you guys know, was one for that. You know, the MW19 definitely had its problems, don't get me wrong, but something it did really well was allowed players like SHOTZZY to finesse with their movement and stuff like that. And you're seeing it right here, like just the ability to move around was crazy. And he for sure in this game, I'm gonna have to put some of his best. I mean, he won champs, like I mentioned, his first year. It was just one of those where everyone looks back at Modern Warfare 19 like, yeah, that's probably one of his best years, you know? So I'm going to have to put him as at least A, maybe S. I think because it's online, I'm going to give it small asterisks and put it as A. Whether that's fair or not, I don't know. But we're going to put it as A right now for how he played in that year. I think it's a close S. And if it was on LAN, he would probably be S for this performance. So this isn't down to his, you know, anything down to him, but I just feel like I have to put weight of LAN a little bit more. So I'm going to keep him as A. Just for this season was a bit of a weird one. You know what I'm saying? Then we go over to Cold War. Now, this is where I actually feel like he was like, I really liked watching him play here in Cold War and develop into that player. And I was like, wow, this guy is super fun to watch. This is where I really started to enjoy what SHOTZZY playing. So in terms of Cold War, as you can see here, we have stage 1, so the major one, they end up getting second, which is really good, you know, especially from a strong champs finish. You think, okay, cool, they're going to go through. They did end up dropping Clayster as well in the offseason, so SHOTZZY's now teaming with Hook, Illy, and C9. And the only reason, I don't know if it's C9, sorry, Crim6. But the only reason they end up dropping Clayster was because it was 5v5, you know, so it was either Clay or Crim. They went for Clay, so they went for Crim. They have SHOTZZY, Hook, Illy, and Crim. SHOTZZY and Hook on the subs, Illy and Crim on the ARs, and it went okay. It went okay for one event, then it went okay for another event. As you can see, they went second and third, so not bad at all. They're still in the top 3 area. And then there was a problem with Hook. There was some stuff going on with Hook there. As you see, Hook ended up leaving the roster, and they ended up bringing in Fellow, and that was a short-lived roster right there. As you can see, in the major 3 had a disappointing 7th and 8th. Not really what they wanted to see. Then they ended up dropping Fellow there, and the roles were already a little bit off there, as you can see, because Illy was obviously supposed to be the AR. I think he went to a sub there, and then the roles were just a little bit off there. Then they end up bringing Vivid in, and this was the roster for the rest of the year, and they had a 2nd, then a 4th, then a 3rd. So you can see they had a couple of decent places where they had 2 2nds, they had 2 3rds, they had a 4th, and then a 7th. So it wasn't like an awful year, but it wasn't a great year. It was kind of an average year, and I would say it was more like unfortunate scenario. It went back from 5v5 with the vibes at all-time high to a 4v4. They had 3 different rosters, and then when their actual final roster, they ended up going 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So I wouldn't really say he had a bad year, but at the same time, I wouldn't say it was one of his best years. In terms of individual performance, I really liked how he played this year. I love watching SHOTZZY. His finesse was like a different level, and I think this year, just more than anything, even though he didn't win anything, it proved his skill and that he could be one of the best SMGs in the game, you know? And I think this is just, again, developing that different kind of skill set that it takes to become a champion. He's already a world champion at this point, but I think just different areas of the game was being developed this year. Players like Toronto, you see them right now against Toronto. Like Toronto were a top 3 team as well. So I would say this Dallas team wasn't a top 2 team. I would say they were like around the 3rd to 4th to 5th, around that area, maybe like 3rd to 4th, if that's fair to say, their final roster. So that's why I can't put them in the S for sure. And I cannot put them over. There's no way I can put them over this number 19 team. There's literally no chance. So what I'm going to have to do for this one, I think we're going to put him low-key as a B, just because of SHOTZZY's standards and like what he won. And the guy's got 3 rings, you know, in COD. So anywhere where he didn't win a ring, it's automatically going to be a little bit lower, if that makes sense. And again, it's just kind of like we're looking at overall accolades of the team and just how that year went for that player. Oh, my alarm's gone off. That's made me tweak. But yeah, overall, like stuff like that. So it's not just like, oh, how good was he shooting? Like there's so many variables to it. And especially when we're comparing SHOTZZY's career to himself, I think we're going to be a little bit harsh here. Then we go over to Vanguard. Now, Vanguard, I would say he played slightly better than Cold War. But let's go through again and check this one out. And he did join Optic, so there was definitely more spotlight on him. And again, is that fair to say he played better when we look at the rankings? It probably isn't. Because it looks like he actually had maybe more consistency in the Cold War year. So we're gonna have to look right here. But Kickoff Classic, I'm not really gonna worry too much about that. We're gonna leave that one as it is. But yes, in the offseason anyways, Optic did merge with Envy and we did become Optic Texas. And what you can see here is the roster. So you're SHOTZZY and Illy moving over to join Optic with Scump and Dashi. So now we have a super team formed with Sender and Rambo as the what's it called? The coaches here. And this is just, you know, a fresh of breath there. We have SHOTZZY in the roster, and this is the start of the SHOTZZY Dashi duo. And as you can see right here, kickoff Major 1, they end up going 5th to 8th. Like I said, it doesn't really matter, but this was kind of the peak of this team, and then kind of everything that we worked through as an Optic fan was for this moment here, as they were the Major 1 champions in a super kind of like exciting way. The first major, Scumpy wins again after a whole year of not winning in Cold War. SHOTZZY wins after a year. None of them won in Cold War, and then they managed to win just like that back in Vanguard. Everyone's feeling phenomenal. And then, you know, there was a few issues starting to have there. As you can see, Illy ended up having a bit of an injury. So they had a flat Major 2. They go into the Pro-Am without Illy. They have General playing, and then they end up getting Pro-Loot back in, and then they get 5th and 6th. And then the last 2 events, they finally get Illy back and they finish 4th. So this was one where I would say it felt a little bit tough because they win the first major and then they just get their roster kind of taken apart. So it was a little bit tough if we're being really honest here. But this is a game where I think SHOTZZY took his individual performance to a different level. Like this clip here was one of the most, I would say, electrifying clips all year long. And look what he does so well. And this was just something I think, again, after the last 2 years of just being able to understand as a player, right, what type of role am I trying to play? What am I providing to my team? But the way he was getting these kills and finessing, I actually did a breakdown back in the day on this. It's one of my first ever CDL breakdowns, which is funny to see now, like 4 years later. But this was like such a good trailer for how good he was as a player and the impact he had. You're seeing it now again, like just 11-2 on a 7th streak, pushing out, cutting lanes, getting aggressive. And I think SHOTZZY and Vanguard, for me, really took his playstyle to another gear, but he didn't get the wins to back it. I think now that we look back at his career and like the wins he had in Modern Warfare 3 and, you know, Champs and Black Ops 6, like these were kind of good pivotal moments of his career of just becoming that type of player. So even though he didn't have the wins in Vanguard that could have backed up how good he was, I definitely think Vanguard was a good year for him in terms of individually. I think it was a really good year. So I'm gonna struggle where to place this one, to be honest with you. I'm gonna say, and I know it sounds crazy, because this is where I'm gonna have to be a hypocrite here with the Cold War. I think Cold War wise, he low key, I think, like, would I prefer that? Let's see. Okay, so we had 2 places, 2 third places, a 4th, and an 8th. Or he had a win, 4-4, 4, 6-6. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think they're very similar. I think the win, maybe that one win helps overshadow it. I would say he had slightly more consistency in Cold War, but both years he had roster issues. So I'm going to have to give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt there. With Vanguard, I'm just going to think, was he better individually, Cold War or Vanguard? I think Vanguard low-key, bro. And he won an event. So I'm going to put him atop of B for Vanguard. I don't know if that's fair, but we're going to leave it at that for now. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Then we go over to the next year. And the next year, as you can see here, it's Modern Warfare 2. And again, just a weird weird season here. As you start off, you can see they end up finishing 12th place here. Really, really bad start in Major 1. They run back the same team, and then they realize that, listen, this isn't it, man. This isn't it. We go through, and after Major 1, unfortunately, Scump just, decided that it wasn't enough, in terms of like he was thinking about retiring. And this is where the GOAT, Scumpy, does retire going through, and they bring back Hook after a long while. They're bringing back XEO. They're trying to get the vibes going. And Major 2, they come in strong and they reach 4th. And this is where you feel like they've kind of reached their potential here. And that's kind of it. They reach 4th. And what I will say is, again, this is such a weird season because so many roster changes for them. But this Major 3 to Major 4 split, if you guys remember, was actually incredible because I don't think they lost a game online as well. So this stretch of like a month or two, they were actually godlike. They were the best team in the game, in my opinion, and they just kind of fell flat in both finals. So then they had 2 back-to-back second places, which was kind of their peak, played really well. And then they kind of, from there, peaked off. They had a really, really bad Major 5 and then a pretty average Champs placing as well. So I think Champs has a lot of weighting as well where they finish. And this season, again, I low-key would say could be the worst season, not individually in terms of like how he played, but placement-wise and just overall team, it was kind of a mess. This Modern Warfare 2 year was a mess. You're seeing it right here individually again. Like, he's obviously talented, obviously made crazy plays. And this was also a game that I would say the movement itself was a bit difficult to implement. It wasn't a lot of movement, but you could still see from SHOTZZY's POV that it was SHOTZZY. And I think that's the best compliment to give him, that there were so many layers to his game that even in a game without any movement, he made it look flashy. And he did like a good job. This guy's so hilarious when he does dumb shit like that. But yeah, he felt good in this game. He looked really good. Sorry, not felt good in this game. I don't know why it's showing. Yeah, I want to see Modern Warfare 2 clips. But yeah, this is the game where, again, I just feel like his team was a bit flat, him as an individual as well. He played decent, but they just didn't get those wins that they probably wanted to. And that's why I can't rank them too high in this game. Oh, he doesn't have a lot of clips here. I thought it was going to be a lot more, but you're seeing here the glimpses, man. This is what I mean. When he was playing well, it was such a like good team to. I actually really enjoy this team with Ghosty as well, Ghosty's debut. But there was a lot of roster changes with Scum retiring. There's just a lot going on this year, but I think that's the last 2 years as well. So it's one of those where you just kind of got to deal with it as it is. But he wasn't bad this year. He was good in every year he's played. But when we're comparing it, where do I put this year? I'm really struggling right here. But we saw the placements. I don't know, man. I don't know. They didn't have a great year. They really did. They had 2 second places. They had a 4th, then they had 2 12th places and a 6th. So like, I don't think I can. I think I have to put this at the bottom. I think I have to. I think I have to put them at the bottom of B. Again, is it a C yet? I don't know. Especially with 2 grand finals being so close and how good they played in those. Like, I think there was a stretch where they were the best team in the game. So I'm going to put them. I'm going to put it low B. I'm going to put it low B. And then we go over to Modern Warfare 3. So now we're talking the better team in terms of they've got a team they're going to stick for the whole year. Okay, the whole year they finally have a team. Starting off with Major 1. Okay, new team: SHOTZZY, Dashy, Kenny, and Fred. We get rid of Hook and Ghosty, and we make a bit more of a we start to look at the roster here. What are we trying to plan for the next year? And there you go. We have a very good team here. It's Major 1. They get 3rd place. So this is where I would say this league was actually a three race league. Like, it was simply just Optic, Toronto, and FaZe dominating the league, taking over, and no one else could compete. Okay, Major 1, 3rd place. Major 2, 2nd place. Major 3, 3rd place. Major 4, disappointing, and then Champs, they win it. EWC, they get 4th. I can't lie to you. I think this was probably the most complete year so far in terms of performance, in terms of results. This is where everything came together. This is where you saw SHOTZZY as like no longer like a rookie and just like a superstar player that was not only performing flashy plays, but just making efficient, decisive plays that are winning his team the game. This is where this team itself was so well-rounded. It was just so balanced. And I would say this is my first. I have to put in the S tier. I'm just watching this game back. This game was fun, man. I like Black Ops 6, but this game I would say was better overall because of the maps. The maps in Black Ops 6 let it down. I love Omni movement as a feature, but this game was fun, man. This game was super fun. Modern Warfare 3. I actually really like Modern Warfare 3. But yeah, sorry, I got sidetracked. I was actually watching this getting distracted. But yeah, like there was times where FaZe and them will go head to head, and there was times where Optic and FaZe's number, FaZe and Optic number. Just overall, like, it was one of those where they were competing really well. and they won champs, and they won champs. So I think it has to have extra weighting. And like I said, because it wasn't online, it was online. Overall, they had a good year. I think we get our first S tier, man. It might be our only S tier as well, because this was definitely the best season in terms of just everything we just witnessed. Okay, then we go over. We had a phenomenal Modern Warfare 3, and you guys think, all right, Black Ops 6 is going to go well too. It's going to go phenomenal, and unfortunately, we have one of the worst stretches we've seen in SHOTZZY's career. Just something so unnatural and something all over the place. As you can see here, they start off with the -1. I'm not going to include that because there's only a couple of teams there, but we go over right there, and we actually have a 7th to 8th place. So we start off with the 8th place. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Okay, pretty poor, 8th place, not really what you want for a major one. And as you can see straight away, there was already issues, right? Because Pred wasn't actually on the roster. They ended up bringing in Hook for Pred because of internal whatever was going on there. So now we're already at a bad spot. Actually, no, sorry, -1 was actually the online tournament. Sorry, my bad. I thought this was the case online. No, -1 is actually relevant. So they finished 4th there, and then they finished 8th. -2 again online tournament. They get Pred back now, and they finish 5th. They're like, okay, this isn't too well. They end up dropping Kenny now and bringing up Skies, so they get a different roster, and they finish 8th. Then they get rid of Pred again, and they get Hook, and they finish 8th. So just everywhere up to here was just a total mess. Not only were they getting really bad LAN placing, just winning kind of one match at LAN and getting knocked out, they weren't winning online either. So they were starting in losers, maybe winning one match, scraping through like a 12th place, and then losing in the second match. So this was a really bad stretch as an Optic fan. Just watching this, it was quite painful, just seeing everything. And yeah, it was struggling. But then a godsend came, and we got Mercules, and Mercules really transformed this roster. First major 4. If you kind of ignore everything else, right, from Mercules, you had such a good kind of major there. But it was one of those majors where just reaching a Sunday, like as a fan, you were like, right, this is good progression. Like I didn't expect them to win it. They just came off like a new roster. Like Thieves was so ahead and FaZe was so ahead. Like I didn't expect them to win it. But 4th was respectable. It was a very respectable finish at that point. And then I don't know what they did in that month practice, but best team at champs by a mile, best team at the weekend, and they end up winning champs. What I will say is, if we look at it from here, which is still majority of the season, probably C to D tier, like just really poor season. You wouldn't think this is Optic. And then when you go up here and you look at major 4 and champs, you're like, damn, okay. So definitely plaster over the wall there. Now, what I will say is, with Mercules, the roster is S tier. Like they just played unbelievable. We have to look at the whole year. And also EWC isn't yet happening. So let's say they go and win EWC. This somehow turns into an A season. You know what I'm saying? It turns into a really good season because they won the 2 biggest events of the year, and that's not been done. So that'd be unbelievable. But right now, where do we put that? I like Black Ops 6. I mean, again, Shots is obviously good. So I'm not saying there's nothing about that, but it's just more like, where do we rank him? Where can we rank him this year? I really am struggling. He won champs, which I think automatically has to put him at a decent level, but that was it. So it was kind of just like bad year, win champs. Where do I weight that overall? I guess I would have to. I think just winning champs alone puts it over Vanguard, Cold War, and MW19. I hope that's fair. And I think I have to do it like that. If I am going to do that, I think it's not fair to put MW19 in the same tier. So I think I'm going to do that. And the champs definitely papers over the cracks. And at the same time, it's also EWC. I'm feeling confident. So my prediction is they're going to have a decent EWC. So because of that, I'm going to put him there. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. But the way I've done this right now is MW3, S tier. MW19, S tier. Black Ops 6, A tier, because they won champs. And EWC, I'm going to convince myself that they're going to win it or get a top 3, top 4 placing. So then in that way, we have a top 4, we have a top 4, then we have champs, then we have a top 4. And I think I could put them in A. I think the champs weighting is a lot to me. So these are the 3 rings. These are the 3 rings, yeah. So I think they have to automatically get higher for me. You know what I'm saying? And then we go through Vanguard. It was just slightly lower. I think Vanguard was better than Cold War. And then this is probably, I would say, its worst years based on placings and everything like that. Even though they got 2 second places, It's just one of those ones. I think this was a bit more consistent, and Vanguard, he won a chip, so I kind of have to value it just slightly more. Again, looking at accolades and just stuff like that. So I hope you guys hope you guys enjoyed the video. A bit different this time. Let me know down below what you guys think of my list of SHOTZZY. These are the CODs he didn't compete in, so we're not going to include them. So these are just the 6 CODs so far. We have 2 S tier games, 1 A tier game, and 3 B tier games. Again, being a bit harsh here, we're making sure we are comparing it to SHOTZZY's overall career and himself. Bit hard to make these lists because like every year is a little bit different, but you guys let me know what you guys think. Did you guys enjoy the video? If you did, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know if you guys want to see more of this or what you guys want to see on the CDL channel, and I'll make sure to do it. Thank you for watching. Catch you guys for tomorrow. Peace.